Hello and welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton, and welcome to the instant match reaction for the Everton 1 Burnley 0 game that took place at Goodison Park today. It was a bit of a scrappy game. I think if we want to get the easy stuff out of the way first, a bit of a scrappy game, a bit of a fight, which I think we kind of expected. The run of form we've been in, I don't think we've won a game in over 3 months at this point. So it was one of those going into it where I think a lot of fans were nervous, me included, that this was going to be more of a battle than it should be. This has probably been Burnley's best run of form in the season, in a sense of they've seemed to find a way to pick up results. You saw them pick up a result against Chelsea most recently. But yeah, I think it being a point. But yeah, so I think it's one of those where it's a situation where I think this was the best chance the club had to pick up 3 points, and coming in with a run again where we're facing a lot of the teams in a similar situation to us right now. I think this was vital, especially since I think there is probably an impending points deduction coming up as well. I think we'll probably get the same as Forest. Picking up those 3 points is vital. We're now 4 points ahead of Luton, 4 points out of the relegation zone with a game in hand, I believe, still. So that's a positive always. That's something that, if I double check here very quickly, with a game in hand still. The only team we don't have a game in hand on around us is Forest. So I think it's very positive. But if we go into the first half, I don't think there's much to speak about. I think the first half was a very disappointing performance, something we've seen a lot of this season. I think the fullbacks were quite good early on, but I think eventually when the Burnley got the ball, more of those fullbacks were just being let out of play. I think Jordan Pickford's distribution once again was fantastic, being able to find those fullbacks on overlapping runs. It's typical stuff from Jordan, really. You kind of expect that at this point. And then you move on to Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who I think we'll discuss a little more when we talk about his goal. But yeah, I feel like it started off like the first 10-15 minutes or so, it looked like we were the better side, it looked like we were controlling the game. And then after that, maybe after around 20-25 minute mark, Burnley just took over, and it really felt like we just weren't ever going to find a way back into the game, if we're going to be completely honest. Burnley were completely dominant. It looked like they were going to score a few times, to be honest with you, but again, some good defending and some good clearances. A smart yellow card from James Tarkowski. I don't know if that was the first or the second half, but I think it was the first half. A smart yellow card from Tarkowski as well stopped them from getting through on goal. But, we're getting to the end of the half, and then Muric has the ball. Burnley have been doing it all game. Burnley trying to play out from the back, trying to play out nice passing football. The Vincent Kompany philosophy, the Manchester City philosophy. And Muric tries to pass the ball away. It's intercepted by Calvert-Lewin, and then it's immediately lifted over to the keeper in the back of the game, which into the back of the net, not the back of the game, which of course then makes it 1-0. Back-to-back games with goals for Calvert-Lewin, and it was a fantastic performance overall for Calvert-Lewin. I think we've seen it all, how lackluster our build-up play can be to get the ball to our strikers sometimes. Sometimes early on in the season we were doing really well with it, we were building up, we were creating chances. But now it's become a problem of just not being able to create enough chances for the players involved, and we've seen Calvert-Lewin this game come deep, facilitate, dribble with the ball. One example I can pick up straight away is him having the ball on the right wing, driving the ball up through the right wing, cutting inside and trying to bend a shot into the top corner. Again, it may have went wide, but that was all Dom's work. No one else was really involved in that build-up besides him. And I think there was a few moments in the game where Calvert-Lewin was just the ever-present in attack, and if it looked like anything, we were going to get anything from anyone, it was him this game. And I think it's a big praise on Calvert-Lewin, someone who, his injury history, we said this quite a few times, gets a lot of stick from the fans. But I think he's really stepped up in this game, and I think he was comfortably the man of the match. I don't think anyone comes close to him on either team. I think he deserves the praise he got for the game, because I think he was just fantastic. Then we get into the second half. Again, I think the second half, if I remember correctly, let me just check here. The second half started off with Burnley in control. It really felt again like a typical Everton performance where we were going to throw the ball or the game away in the second half. I think it was one of those where it was starting to get a lot more nervy. Burnley were really trying to get into the game, throwing men forward, really trying to put the pressure on us in a sense but then I feel like there were a few chances again. Muric gave the ball away again, I believe, or it was a defender that slipped, and we almost got another goal from Calvert-Lewin again, who was again really pressuring the Burnley defence. And I think another thing to praise Calvert-Lewin for was how much pressuring he was doing, how much pushing he was doing, how much he was forcing mistakes out of the Burnley players. And I think that's a thing where I feel like Calvert-Lewin, one of the biggest praises he's always got has been his work rate, but again, that's really come in it's coming clutch to him this game, because in the end, without that work rate, he doesn't get that goal, and him constantly hounding down the goalkeeper, hounding down defenders, got us in a situation where we probably should have scored more than one. Another one I remember was Ashley Young getting the ball. A beautiful switch play, by the way. I don't know who switched it. Switched over to Ashley Young and plays a nice floated cross to the back post. Finds Decore, but Decore's not able to slot it away. I do think we probably should have got more than one goal, to be honest. I do think we would have got more than one goal if Darragh O'Shea didn't get that red card. And that's just, to put it simply, Darragh O'Shea gets the ball to his feet, takes a heavy touch. The heavy touch goes in towards the path of McNeil. This is for those who haven't seen the game. Goes towards into the path of McNeil, and Darragh O'Shea just crunches McNeil. Understandably, because if he'd have let McNeil go, he'd have been 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper. There was no one catching up to him at that point, to be honest. They were all yards away trying to press forward. So it was a smart red card. I know it sounds a bit weird. It's never smart to get a red card, but I can understand why he did it. What was the decision making going into that? Why he chose to, go in and take him out. But after that, I think that there's part ways where you'll get the most complaining from me, and that's not because we were bad. I feel like in the last portion of the game we really took over, and then the last 20-25 minutes or so was when everyone clicked. The passing football was smooth. We were getting in behind the Burnley defence quite a few times. But one thing I have to mention the refereeing. In those last 10 minutes, especially when Beto was on, I feel like Beto was fouled 2 or 3 times, which it should have been given. There was the through ball, which falls to which falls to Beto. Beto's through and gets absolutely crunched by Sander Berger. Some people were saying a penalty. It wasn't. It was just outside the box. But the principle's there. That should have been a yellow card as well, if we're probably being honest. And then Sander Berger continues to get a yellow card by, again, fouling Beto on the turn. I think Beto had a good impactful performance again, really hassling players like Sander Berger and forcing them to give fouls away, which led to them getting carded. But again, I think it was a situation where we really just again, those last 20-25 minutes, we really showed what this team can do, and that when this team can click, there is something there. Again, I don't think this is the best Everton team in a long time. I think this is one of the worst ones, to be completely honest with you. But there are glimpses of potential with this team, that this team can really take the scruff of the game to people if they're all there. But I do think it's mainly a mentality thing, but I don't want a big pushing on the negatives, because again, 3 points, big performance. I think it's one of those where this was desperately needed. That keeps Burnley, what are we? I think we're like 10 points at least away from Burnley now. Yeah, 10 points away from Burnley, 4 points away from Luton. A game in hand as well, win that game in hand. Unfortunately, I do think that game in hand's a Merseyside derby, but in the magical world where we win that game in hand, all of a sudden, even a 4-point deduction looks like we still may be safe. But that's all I've got to talk about from this game. If you did enjoy this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. Comment what you thought about the game in the comments below. Follow us on Twitter at Everton Newsfeed, and follow me on Twitter at Callum 3. And I'll see you all for the next video and or live stream that I'm on. Goodbye, everyone.